All right, good Friday afternoon to you. Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott. Got a tornado warning just being issued now for portions of Winston County in northwest Alabama. This includes areas near and to the north of Double Springs. This storm we're watching, and we're going to see that Polygon pop on here in just a moment. But again, that is the storm that's tracking northeast. This will move into northwest Coleman County in a matter of a few minutes, but we're looking at 5:15 for that warning there. In Winston County, do want to mention also we have several severe thunderstorm warnings. In fact, let me put on the warning display and see if that Polygon hasn't popped up yet. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning for Marion County, Lamar, and Fayette back to the west there. But again, a brand new tornado warning just being issued here for portions of Winston County. There's the rotation we're watching just now to the northeast of Double Springs. This is just a tad north of that Highway 278 corridor and is moving pretty quickly to the northeast. Now, this warning goes until 5:15. I think this is going to be pretty much out of Winston County by 5:15 there, and it does continue to move pretty quickly. Let me pan up the screen just a bit. And you can see that couplet there just northeast of Double Springs. It's just crossed Highway 33. And again, there is one tornado warning up here for Morgan County, just north of Coleman County. But again, we have two rotating thunderstorms that are moving generally off towards the northeast pretty quickly there. And again, we are just checking behind the scenes here. And I tell you what, we got Chelsea Aaron, who is also in the Weather Center. And Chelsea, if you want to mention that warning, that the information on that tornado warning.
Yeah, Richard, the National Weather Service in Birmingham has issued again a tornado warning. This is for Winston County until 5:15 p.m. And again, we are watching it closely as this severe thunderstorm here has the capability of producing a tornado. So again, this is going to be 12 miles northwest of Arley, moving east at 30 miles per hour. We've already gotten a lot of local storm reports near the Sipsey River Recreation Area. This is in Winston County, of several trees down along the Sipsey Bridge, the Sipsey River Bridge. So again, already getting some damage reports there of what is currently ongoing.
Yeah, so we may have a tornado down that's now just to the north of Double Springs there. So that's that Highway 278 corridor. That's the northern tip of Smith Lake right there. You're seeing at the bottom of your screen there, and that goes down into portions of Coleman County. Again, there's Addison there. If I would say this thing's going to pass just a hair north of Addison, but again, if you're in Upshaw, if you're in the Grayson area or Moreland, we want you to be in a safe place now. So get out of a mobile home, find a site-built structure, something that can protect you from flying debris if there is indeed a tornado down with that. And again, that is moving northeast pretty quickly now. Here's a new radar update, and what you're looking at, that's your Hook Echo feature. This is a small supercell type of thunderstorm that is in a tropical environment. What's left of Lamar is a remnant low pressure now to the northwest of us, and we got just enough wind shear to possibly produce a tornado down here. And again, that's basically just crossing that Highway 33 corridor and just on the north side of 278. But there's a Barnett Chapel there on the north end of Smith Lake. You got Eagle down there. That's 257. But if you are from Addison to Barnett Chapel to Double Springs, I would stay in a safe place now. And if you are, again, in a mobile home, find that site-built structure, something that can protect you from flying debris, as there is certainly that possibility for a tornado there. And I tell you what, I want to take you out to a wide view here and again, show you, we do have a tornado watch. I want to mention that for portions of northwest Alabama. That's until 8 o'clock for Lamar County, Fayette, also Walker County, Coleman County, Winston, and Marion. That's until 8 o'clock. There's your severe thunderstorm warning, polygons as well, as we do have that possibility of some damaging straight-line winds with some of those storms that are tracking off towards the east and northeast direction. Here's those severe storms I was talking about. This is for portions of Lamar County, Sullivan, that's Highway 17. Really heavy rain, strong damaging wind potential with that cell, that line of thunderstorms that stretches into Marion County. Again, that's brilliant there. But there's our tornadic thunderstorm just on the north side of Double Springs as we speak. And again, that has us concerned for the possibility there could be a tornado down with that. So let me pan you back to that. And again, there's two different tornadic storms here. There's one, they're basically on the same track here. There's two of these individual supercell type of storms, and one of those just on the north side of Barnett Chapel. Coming up on Moreland now, there's Upshaw, New Georgia there, and Addison. You're going to be in the path of that. Let me put on the velocity, and let's look at this. and just watch this together and see how this thing looks in terms of the structure, the wind and that. And yeah, there's your couplet. There's where your possible tornado would be, just now crossing 33, and it is quickly moving northeast. So if you're in Upshaw, New Georgia, you need to be in a safe place in northeastern portions of Winston County. And I would say if you are from Jones Chapel, northward in Coleman County, as a least course regret, I would consider going to a safe place. I know Coleman County not formally in a tornado warning right now with that, but again, it is certainly a situation we need to watch. And it looks like we are getting some reports, I believe, Chelsea, Aaron, too. If you want to mention some of those, what's coming out of Winston County?
Yeah, Richard, again, recently we got those reports of several trees down along Canal Road at the Sipsey River Bridge. We also are seeing more trees down. This is going to be west of Grayson there, again, in Winston County near Coleman, again, near Double Springs, and these areas that we've mentioned before. So, again, already getting those incoming damage reports. So it is possible that, again, we also have a tornado on the ground at this time.
Okay, so this is a serious situation from Winston County. So let me show you this really quick, the wide perspective. Again, this is most of central Alabama, no problems at all. We're focused in on our northwest counties. That's where that possibility is. There could be a tornado developing out of that. So let me go up to, tell you what, we'll take the Columbus radar, and I'm going to take you back into that storm in Winston County because that's where we're concerned about. And that's it right there. And this is a relatively small storm, but it is a rotating thunderstorm basically coming up on Addison now. And I tell you what, Chelsea, Aaron, what is the motion of that? Is that east or northeast on that storm?
Richard, it's going to be moving east at 30 miles per hour.
Okay, so this storm's moving more east. The one up here was moving more northeast, heading towards the Huntsville area. And again, this was moving more towards the east. So we may see a warning required for Coleman County. So if you are in Jones Chapel or Addison on 278 and points north, we need you in a safe place now. And let's do a path on this warning and show you where it's heading in terms of the possibility of a tornado, because this thing is moving into some populated areas. Again, just past through the Double Springs area, there's the possible tornado there, moving generally off towards the east. And let's do a path on that and see where it's heading. If you are in, again, Addison, we're talking about 502 if this continues. So that's in eastern portions of Winston County, then moves into Coleman County after that, Jones Chapel. There's Bell Springs there. Again, some of the communities, you look on this this map here, these are arrival times. And if it holds together, there's a warning polygon popping up. If this holds together, we could be seeing a time of about 5:43 for the city of Coleman. And I tell you what, Chelsea, I think we got a brand new warning on that. Was that an upgrade to that warning? Or is that just a change?
I don't believe so. They're just continuing the tornado warning at this time till 5:15 again. This is going to be northwest of Arley, moving east at 25 miles per hour, has slowed down just a bit, but again, still we need to take this warning serious, and we just got some more damage reports of multiple trees down just northeast of Double Springs. All
right, so this could be a tornado down. Let me take you into this storm, and Chelsea, thank you for that update, because I know it looks like we're getting some real-time information coming in here. I think we may have a tornado down, so let's take you into this, the updraft region of the storm where your possible tornado would be. It would be right there. In fact, this is what you call a beware region, a bounded weak echo region. That's where your updraft is basically suspending the precip aloft and you're just wrapping around the mesocyclone. So you're getting this area where there's a little bit of lower reflectivity. So there's not as much rain right there. And that is where a possible tornado could be. So if you're in Moreland, you need to be in a safe place now. And this is going to be riding basically parallel to Highway 278, maybe just a hair to the north of 278. And then it's going to cross over as 278 makes more of a northeast turn just above the north end of Smith Lake there. Again, that's where we're looking at for the possibility of a tornado. And I tell you what, let's put on the correlation coefficient and see if we can see debris here. And it's kind of noisy. Now understand, these are going to be low top supercell storms. This is a tropical environment. This isn't your springtime or fall tornado event. This is a tropical induced thunderstorm that's producing likely a tornado here. And most likely this won't be a tornado down for very long, but based off the environment, we need to watch this carefully. So again, there's your rotational couplet right there. This is just on the south side of Moreland. And as Chelsea mentioned, it looks like this thing's moving more due east rather than northeast. So it's made a bit of a right turn. And sometimes that is indication of strengthening rotation. So this thing's made more of a right turn, and that's often a kind of a red flag there that, hey, we need to watch this. This thing could be dropping to tornado now, and based off some of the damage reports we're getting already from Winston County, in fact, just right there near Double Springs, there could be something on the ground right now. And that is certainly concerning. And in fact, let me take you out just a bit and we'll show you a wider perspective here with that. And I tell you what, I also want to look at the lightning output from this, because that will also tell us a little bit about the structure of this thunderstorm that is likely producing a tornado. And while we do that, Chelsea, Aaron, this is not a confirmed tornado, right? This is a radar indicated?
Yes, Richard, not confirmed as of right now. But again, with all of these damage reports coming in and the multiple indications on radar, it definitely has the capability of being a tornado at this point.
Yeah, we may have one down, Chelsea. So that's what we're looking at right here is your lightning display. And this thing's producing quite a bit of lightning, which is rather unusual for a tropical low-top supercell storm. Typically, we don't have a lot of lightning with these things, and this thing is kicking up quite a bit of lightning as we speak. So that is an indication of a strong updraft. We'll go back over to the radar product, and I tell you what, we'll keep on Columbus for now. Let's switch this to Birmingham. I just want to see a different perspective and see if we get a better look at this thing. And yeah, Birmingham's a little ways away from that, but again, basically you're seeing the same thing. This is where there's a strong, powerful updraft and possibly producing a tornado based off some of the reports we've already got. There may be one down. In fact, we're going to watch those reports as they pop on your screen for you. These are just brand new reports. You're going to start to see these fill out on the map here as this thing's made more of a path of a possible damage path where this thing has been. So we'll go back over to the velocity and let's just watch this together. Let's see how this couplet's changed. And it's no doubt there's still something there, generally to the north of 278. But again, if you're in Addison or Jones Chapel, you've got to be in a safe place now. There's a possibility of a tornado down, and based off of some of the reports we've gotten so far this evening, I think that is certainly a possibility. There's your rotation right there. It's moving off to the east, generally about 25 miles per hour, so just like that. And here's some of the community times arrival. So again, look, don't wait until this time is up before you do something. If you're in a car, if you're in a mobile home, find a site-built structure somewhere that will protect you from flying debris and the possibility of a tornado there. There is a high chance this thing is dropping a tornado as we speak based off of some of the reports we had. Now, this is a radar indicated, but again, we're looking at the history of this thing. It's producing damage. There may be one down. We don't have confirmation of one down, but we know based off the damage, there could be something there. So again, Addison, we're looking at 508, so be in a safe place before that. We would recommend that now. Jones Chapel at about 525. So look, before this tornado gets to where you are, we want you to find a bike helmet, put that on your head, hard-soled shoes. We want you to go on the lowest floor of your home, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And if you're in a mobile home or a car, you got to get out of that. Mobile home is not a safe place, even for these weaker tornadoes. Even if this is an EF0, EF1 type of tornado, mobile home is not a good place to be. Find that site-built structure. If you got a friend that has a storm shelter or a basement, go there. Stay there until the storm passes on by. In fact, if you're anywhere up here in northwest Alabama, we got other storms out there. We just want you out of a mobile home and have an option to go to and a plan just in case there's a warning issued for your local area, because these things can change very fast. Again, so let's watch this carefully. That's the latest track. Let me clear this off the screen, and I'll tell you what, while I do that, we're going to look at the velocity. Again, certainly a well-defined couplet there where there could be a tornado still down. And again, we got Chelsea Aaron in the Weather Center. Chelsea, anything coming in from the National Weather Service on this?
Yeah, Richard, well, we've been mentioning both that this storm continues to move due east, and, you know, we're closely looking at that, and so is the National Weather Service. And if the circulation stays rather tight, we're still looking at this rotation. They're likely going to issue a tornado warning for Coleman County. Okay. So, again, this is far out. This is about 45 to 50 minutes, but it's still a lot of time to take those plans to get to a safe place. So again, make sure if you are in Coleman County, if you have any loved ones, make sure that they are aware that this will likely be issued as a tornado warning if that circulation stays rather tight as it continues to move due east.
Yeah, so again, what you're looking at the bottom of your screen is the banks of Smith Lake. In fact, you got Arley down here, there's Crane Hill, there's Trimble, and again, if you keep going towards east, you got Good Hope and Dodge City and Coleman County. And if this does continue, I think this is going to stay generally to the north of that north bank of Smith Lake. Again, there's Eagle there. All right, the bridge crosses on 257 Smith Lake right there between Eagle and Arley. I think this is going to stay mainly north of that bridge there, but it's going to be a close call. So if you are generally from the Eagle up to Addison to Upshaw, that's where we want you to be in that safe place now. Again, this is in a part of Winston County now, northeastern Winston County. This moved out of Double Springs now. So if you're back in Double Springs, the potential tornado threat's over for that storm. There are more storms to the west. And in fact, while we do this, and I tell you what, Jen, I want to ask you this too. Are we on Facebook Live right now? And okay. All right. So right now, I do want to mention too, we are streaming on line, or we are streaming on Facebook Live. So if you search the WVUA 23 Facebook page, you can watch us nonstop on there too, in case you lose power, or if you're traveling, you're not around a television, you can also watch us on there. Just multiple ways you can get our information nonstop there. So let me take you out to a wide view, because I know there are a lot of people in other parts of Alabama that are not dealing with severe weather right now. So I want to take you there just for a moment, just kind of reset things just a bit. And I do want to mention, again, there is active severe weather in northern Lamar County and southern portions of Marion County. This could be moving to North Fayette County in terms of damaging wind potential. All right, so the rest of central Alabama, from Anniston, Gadsden, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Demopolis, Livingston, Utah, there are no problems at all in this part of the state. In fact, I don't expect problems for those cities tonight. This looks like it's going to be a North Alabama event. In this part of the state, there's just enough wind shear, there's just enough instability for these storms to rotate and potentially produce a tornado. The rest of Alabama down to the south, we got a rain-cooled air down here over South Alabama, and that is impeding tropical development in terms of thunderstorm activity across central Alabama. I don't think this is going to be a big threat for places like Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, point south. Again, to the north of there, that's where we're focused right now. So if you're watching us in these areas, we're coming up on 5 o'clock on this Friday afternoon. If you're watching us around the Tuscaloosa area, back towards Utah, Livingston, Demopolis, Linden, Marion, Clanton, Rockford, Birmingham, Anniston, Oxford, I don't think we're going to have any problems this evening. We will watch it carefully, but I think we're more stable in this part of central Alabama. All right, so let's take you up to our far northern counties. This is where we're looking at for the potential for a tornado that could be down. That is in northern and eastern Winston County. This is now to the northeast of Double Springs. This is about to cross into Coleman County within a matter of about 20 minutes, it looks like. So there's Addison there. And let's look at the velocity. I want to look at the wind inside this thing and see how it looks. And still certainly a well-defined couplet. There's the Grayson area. That's Highway 33 that runs into northern Winston County. Again, you got the little town of Grayson. There's Moreland and Barnett Chapel. This is going to be crossing basically between Moreland and Barnett Chapel. Looks like it's now just a hair to your northeast, but if you are in Double Springs, there's no problem with this thunderstorm anymore. There's more storms obviously coming in just to your west, but those are not tornadic. Your possible tornado. Look at the couplet there, Chelsea. This thing's really spinning up there.
Yeah, Richard,
Yeah.
Damage reports really just keep flying in. You were talking about Highway 33. We've got damage reports of multiple trees blown down along Highway 2. This is east of Highway 33. We also have some structures that have damage. There's building material scattered all over the place at Wilkins Builders. This is along County Road 63, just south of Grayson, again, all in Winston County. So again, many damage reports flying in, again, a possible tornado.
Yeah, it looks like we may have a tornado down. I mean, this is certainly some significant damage. We're beginning to get reports in. And I tell you what, Chelsea, if you see anything, please let us know on that, because it sounds like it's pretty active over the National Weather Service chat room. And Chelsea is monitoring those reports, getting that to us as fast as possible so we can get that information to you. And because this is critical in terms of the warning process. Now, we're looking at gate-to-gate shear of 86 miles an hour. Now, understand, we are sampling air pretty high off the ground, so it's hard to tell what's happening down at the surface, but when you see a couplet like that with a low-top supercell thunderstorm, that is indicating the possibility certainly very high of a tornado down. I think we do likely have a tornado down here that's coming up on New Georgia now. We want you in a safe place. Let me clear this off. And again, there's your couplet right there, brand new update from our velocity. And what you're looking at, this is the wind side of the storm. It's where the raindrops are blowing around, and where you got the red there, wind is blowing away from the radar site out of Columbus, and then the green is air blowing towards the radar site. So there's your area rotation just like that. So we're looking at straight line, but there's the couplet there. That's where you have rotating thunderstorm winds, and that's where a tornado is going to be. But if you're in New Georgia and Upshaw, you got to be in a safe place now. Even at Addison, if you're along 278, that highway 278 corridor, and just a hair to the north, you've got to be somewhere safe, and that is out of a mobile home. If you're in a mobile home now, you got to go somewhere and find that site-built structure, somewhere that will protect you from the possibility that a tornado could be down. And based off the reports we're looking at, there is a good chance there is a tornado down as we speak and doing damage. We don't know the strength of the tornado. We won't know that until tomorrow, when the National Weather Service, they send out the survey crews the next day. Typically, they look at the damage. They determine if it was a tornado or straight line wind damage, how strong this tornado was at the time. So we'll get that information to you over the next few days. But right now, we know there's something down, and based off the rotational signature, we need to do something about it. So again, if you're in New Georgia, you've got to be in a safe place now, because we have that potential. There could be a tornado down. There's Upshaw, there's New Georgia. All right, if you are in northeast Winston County, you got to be in a safe place now. Let me put on the velocity. Again, it's looking like our shear has come down just a tad in that last scan, still seeing about 60 or so miles an hour. But do not let your guard down. That doesn't mean this thing's over. This thing is, understand, again, we're sampling air that's several thousand feet off the ground, so there could be one down below that. That's a lot stronger. So again, we're seeing strong evidence that there could be still that tornado down that's tracking off towards the northeast just like that. So if you are in Jones Chapel, I would go ahead and go to that safe. Yeah, still got it. It's still there. There's Addison right there. There's New Georgia. All right. So again, if you're in a car or mobile home, you got to get out, find a site-built structure somewhere that will protect you. Again, County Road 43, that's what we're looking at there for the potential for a tornado. It's going to cross right there. All right, there's County Road 39 there. That's in eastern Winston County. All right, this tornado is going to be crossing County Road 43 and then 39 right after that. So if you're on 43 or 39, those county roads got to do something, got to go somewhere now. There's Addison, the city of Addison. All right, County Road 99. This is going to be it's pretty much on 99 right now. So again, if you see your road right there, do something. Go somewhere now. If you're basically in the city limits of Addison and points north, all right, to Coleman County, do something. Go somewhere now. And I'll tell you what, Chelsea, Aaron in the Weather Center, have they issued for Coleman yet?
They have not issued for Coleman yet. Again, still watching that rotational couplet right there. Again, if it remains fairly tight, which it does look fairly tight at this point, they will be issuing another tornado warning for Coleman County. And again, still getting in those damage reports. This passed through Moreland not too long ago, the community of Moreland, and there are several structures damaged in the community of Moreland. This is going to be south of Grayson. But again, no reports yet of extending this warning. As of right now, they have not, but as this couplet stays rather tight, they will in the near future.
Yeah, and this thing looks good too on rotation. This thing certainly looks serious, so we think there's likely a tornado down. But again, if you're on the north side of Addison, you got to go somewhere. And I tell you what, in Coleman County, if you're in West Point or South Vinemont, let's go ahead and think about those tornado precautions, because there's certainly the potential for a tornado there. And it is a high chance there's a tornado down based off the report. So there's a lot of damage back here. We're seeing structural damage, tree damage, likely power issues as well. So do want to remind you too, if you lose power, you can watch us on Facebook Live, search WVUA 23. We're on there nonstop as well. It's just a couple of minutes after 5 o'clock now. Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott, we got Chelsea Aaron in the Weather Center as well. We continue to monitor this dangerous situation where there is a tornado likely down in Winston County in northwest Alabama. And this is about to cross into Coleman County. This is to the north of Smith Lake. This is generally along and north of Highway 278. While we show you that, while we do that, let me take you back out to the wide view, because again, I know there's a lot of people in other parts of Alabama that are wondering what is happening, and put on the Birmingham radar. And here's the deal. We've got, again, these severe storms up here in northwest Alabama, but that's it. The rest of our state, there's no problems at all. It's all over our northern counties. That's where the shear and uplift and instability is kind of maxed out there in that part of Alabama. But again, down to the south for cities like Anniston, Gadsden, Tuscaloosa, and Birmingham, Demopolis, Livingston, Rockford, Clanton, Marion, even Reform. There's no problems there. It looks like the severe weather issues are going to stay to the north. I know we have some high school football happening tonight. It's Friday night. And some of those high school football stadiums up here could have some problems. But again, this is not going to be a long duration event. I think this is going to quickly pass on through, and that will be it for our severe weather for tonight. So this is going to be a short-term event where we have active severe storms to have to deal with, and that's what's ongoing right now. So again, we got a situation in northwest Alabama where we got severe weather ongoing. I know we got other people watching on television through Facebook Live in other parts of Alabama. That's what it looks like where you are. There are no watches or warnings for areas south of Fayette. All right, the tornado watch is up here in Winston, Coleman, also Walker County, Fayette, Lamar, Marion. That's until 8 o'clock tonight. After 8 o'clock, this threat should have ended by then. And most likely there will not be an extension to the south unless something dramatically changes, but based off the wind shear pattern, the uplift, it just does not look like areas to the south will have much of an issue in terms of severe weather. So again, just to recap, if you are in central Alabama, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, anywhere near those cities and points south, there are currently no severe weather issues, and I do not anticipate any problems in those cities. All right, let me show you quickly the severe thunderstorm warning for Lamar County. Also, Marion, northern Fayette, we have a damaging wind potential. Looks like these storms are kind of behind the gust front, so unlikely there's a tornado developing in this. It looks like more of a straight line wind damage event for Brilliant, Gewen, Winfield, areas like Hubbardsville. All right, Vernon, it looks like Vernon, you're dealing with some pretty nasty storms, but in terms of the warning Polygon, it stops just north of the city of Vernon, but I would not be surprised to see another one added down here, including Vernon and Fayette, as we do have that potential for damaging winds approaching those cities as well. So heads up for Fayette, Berry, and Bankston. You could have some severe issues as well, more of a straight line wind threat for that. All right, so here we go. This is in Winston County. We got heavy rain in places like Natural Bridge and Double Springs. The tornado potential is in the northeastern corner of the county. And I will say this, Chelsea, Aaron, I'm really surprised to see the National Weather Service in Huntsville hasn't pulled the trigger on the tornado warning in Coleman County yet.
Yeah, I am very surprised as well, as it has still really maintained a lot of good rotation there as we continue monitoring it through Winston County. But again, no word yet from the National Weather Service as far if they're going to continue it into Coleman County or not. We'll just have to wait and see. But again, we've been monitoring this again for the past couple of minutes, and it is still a threat. It is still there. And so make sure you are all getting in your safe places and taking the necessary safety precautions.
Yeah, and this is what we're looking at here is areas from Addison north, maybe some strong straight line winds coming through downtown Addison now. New Georgia, Upshaw, you're going to be under the gun. There's your potential tornado, your rotation, and that couplet's going to be crossing into Coleman County likely in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Technically, the warning goes until 5:15 for Winston County. We will possibly see an extension into Coleman County. Based off the trends we're looking at and the fact that we're getting quite a bit of damage reports, numerous damage reports coming out of Winston County from Double Springs back towards the Moreland area, area south of Grayson getting the hardest hit areas. All right, so there's Jones Chapel, and again, this is in Coleman County. So there's 278 that runs to Baldwin. Now, if you are in downtown Coleman, I don't anticipate a problem for you for this storm. Now, there's more back to the west, but again, this is going to be moving towards areas like Battleground, North Vinemont. You're going to be under the gun for the possibility of a tornado. There is the Centerville of Coleman County, not Centerville and Bibb County, just Centerville and Coleman County. Two different Centervilles there. There's Interstate 6531 there. If this holds together, it will continue basically to track just like this. There's West Point, all right, Dripping Springs there. That's where we're looking at for the possibility there could be a tornado there. But again, we haven't had the confirmation of an extension of a tornado warning yet. That will possibly change. So that's the latest on that. Let me do a track on this. And again, we are going to assume this goes into Coleman County. If it does continue, this is where it is heading. It's moving east at about 25 miles per hour. So it's moving just like that. And again, these are times of arrival in your community. Now understand, these aren't perfect. This is a computer estimate, so we want you to be in a safe place before your time's up in case this thing speeds up or slows down just a bit. Timing could change, so understand that. Looking at New Georgia at 5:11, so we are just about on top of New Georgia now. Dripping Springs there at 5:39, Battleground at 5:43, West Point and Coleman County at 5:50, Bell Springs 5:57 at 6 o'clock over in Vinemont, if it does continue to do that. And based off, we're looking at velocity, I believe, from high top. Let me switch that over. I'm going to take this track off. And I tell you what, let's switch this velocity over to Columbus. And I tell you what, Chelsea, this thing may be winding down just a bit based off the latest update from our velocity out of Columbus. Are you seeing that?
Yeah, it is looking quite weaker. I mean, nonetheless, this is still something to take seriously, but definitely the rotation has quieted it down a bit. Again, no word about extending it into Coleman County yet. They might be waiting as it is weakening a bit, and no more damage reports at this time. But still, again, many damage reports that we've gotten that spanned from Moreland all the way to Double Springs, mainly south of Grayson.
Yeah, so I mean, we got to assume this thing could still kick up just a bit and produce a tornado, but so far they're going to allow this warning to continue till 5:15. And as Chelsea Aaron mentioned, there's no formal tornado warning for Coleman County yet, but that could change. So that's what we're looking at there, the possibility of a tornado crossing into Coleman County. There's Jones Chapel, Dripping Springs, and West Point there. It looks like this is going to be just on the north side of 278. So again, if you're in Addison, this thing is going to be just a couple of miles to your north. There's New Georgia and Upshaw. That's where the possibility of a tornado could be down with that. But again, we're not getting any confirmation of a tornado down at the moment. Could be one there. Again, understand the radar beam is thousands of feet up on this, so it is going to be tough to see. So that is that. Let's look at the velocity. Here is the velocity from high top. This is just to the east of Huntsville. And again, that's the couplet is not as strong as it was. This thing really ramped up about 45 minutes ago over Winston County. This thing was spinning like crazy, and this thing is certainly spinning down just a bit, so the rotational signature is not as impressive. But I think we had a tornado touchdown in Winston County, really right around the Double Springs area in Moreland. Most likely this was a tornado touchdown. The thing is, this is a tropical system, a landfalling tropical system. The core of that was left of Lamar is positioned over northern Tennessee, the Tennessee-Kentucky border. And we're in that kind of sweet spot. We have a little bit of wind shear and we have a little bit of uplift. And with the tropical system to our north, even though it's summertime, we can have a tornado or two, and that's what's happening now across central Alabama. And I tell you what, we got about 4 more minutes left on this tornado warning, so we're going to watch and see if they will continue that or not. And while we do, let me just check a couple of things behind the scenes here. I want to show you a wide view of our local area. This is the satellite and radar, and let's just show you this, what's kind of happening here where we have quite a bit of rainfall down to our south, and I really think that has kind of robbed the instability across central Alabama. So what's happening is you've got this tropical system with plenty of wind shear up to the north of Alabama. Up at the top of your screen, see the spin up there. That's what's left of Laura. And what's happening down here is we got the instability being kind of blocked off. So this is really a saving grace, so to speak, that we got these storms down here that's shutting off the Gulf of Mexico and preventing the true instability down here from getting up here. This is where you need instability for severe weather, but again, your higher instability is being trapped off to the south. So again, that is one good thing that's helping us out a little bit. And look, if you walk outside, if you're in Tuscaloosa and Birmingham, look, it's muggy. It feels warm, but your true source of storm fuel is down near Mobile, down towards Gulf Shores. And as it tries to come north, it's just being blocked off. So we've got this little bitty area where we have a convection developing in these severe thunderstorms in northwest Alabama, and that will continue. Currently, the heat index, by the way, is 92 in Tuscaloosa. Dew points are quite high. The temperatures, want to show you this. It is rain-cooled in some areas. We got 84 in Tuscaloosa, 72 in Haleyville. Interesting to note, Coleman is rain-cooled 79, so maybe things are looking a little bit better in terms of the lacking of instability with that. We're looking north. This is from Bryant-Denny Stadium. We're looking towards those severe storms to our north. Again, temperatures 84 in Tuscaloosa, breezy south-southwest wind at about 10 miles per hour. Here is your watch warning map. And again, the counties in green, that is a flash flood watch for this evening, as we do have the possibility of more heavy rain overnight. Looks like your main axis of heavy rains up here. Tornado watch continues till 8 p.m. for Coleman County, also Walker, Fayette, Lamar, Winston, and Marion counties till 8 p.m. We got a severe thunderstorm warning for northern Lamar County, southern Marion County, northern Fayette County for the potential for damaging winds. And Chelsea, it looks like they put a severe for that in Coleman.
Yes, Huntsville has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Coleman. Again, getting some kind of mixed data regarding the cell here, that rotation that we've been seeing. You know, radar has indicated it weakening a bit, but then, you know, we have some other indications that the updraft has recently trended upwards. So still really going to have to watch this closely. We're going to have to really focus our eyes on this as it goes into Coleman County, and then from there the National Weather Service will make additional adjustments. But as of right now, they have only issued a severe thunderstorm warning. Again, tornado possible, but right now we have some different and mixed data regarding on what's going to be happening to this particular cell.
Yeah, Chelsea, and that is something that's we've been on our toes for for 4 or 5 hours now, watching each of these individual storms that as they kind of begin to rotate just a bit, then they spin back down and they don't really do anything. So it's been a deal where we've been kind of watching radar for several hours since really about midday today, and we've had that possibility for these storms to rotate and produce a tornado. I think we have likely had a tornado touchdown, and also out of our market, this is closer to Auburn. That's certainly a suspicious looking supercell storm approaching Auburn, Opelika in East Alabama on Interstate 85. Again, that's outside of our television market, but again, what we're watching is up here, and it looks like, all right, so it's 5:15 now, so the tornado warning should have expired. I want to make sure with Chelsea before we send it over to our 5 o'clock news. We got Lynn Brooks is standing by on the anchor desk, getting ready for to bring you the news, and obviously we're bringing you the weather. But again, it looks like that tornado warning should have been allowed to expire. Okay, and we're just watching. I just want to get confirmation, Chelsea.
Don't have strict confirmation yet, but the National Weather Service in Birmingham has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Winston County at this point. So I would assume that it's safe to say that this warning for Winston County has expired.
Yeah, so they replaced that. Did they put the tag of tornado possible in that?
Yes, tornado is still possible. That is the tag within the warning. Okay,
so we've got a severe thunderstorm warning now for northeast Winston County, northwest Coleman County. So what we're going to do, we are going to go to break, and we'll be right back. Got Lynn Brooks standing by. She's ready to bring you the news. We'll have more weather updates. And if there is a tornado warning, we will be right back here on TV and on Facebook Live. We'll see you in just a minute. All right, we have got a brand new tornado warning just being issued for Coleman County. Let me take you into that storm. And again, that's what we were just talking about a few moments ago. We may see a new tornado warning issued, and that indeed has occurred. The National Weather Service seeing rotation has increased in this storm. This is again over Jones Chapel now, northern Coleman County. In fact, let me take you back into this storm and show you a closer look. This thing's coming up on Interstate 65 and the Vinemont area. There's your tornado warning. Polygon includes northern Coleman County and southern portions of Morgan County, really from Falkville down to the Vinemont area is where we're talking about. This just north of downtown Coleman. In fact, it is just a hair to the north of Highway 278 where the potential is for this tornado. This is moving generally off towards east. Now, we also have a Chelsea Aaron who is in the Weather Center as well. And Chelsea, what is the warning time on this and information you got?
Yes, Richard. The National Weather Service in Huntsville actually issued this warning for Coleman until 6 p.m. I repeat, 6 p.m. Again, still moving east at 30 miles per hour. This is going to be located really near Sardis or 13 miles southwest of Hartselle. So, again, northern Coleman County near the South Vinemont area.
Yeah, so again, that's what we're talking about for the possibility of a tornado there. Let me swap over to Columbus radar, and there it is. That's it, close to the battleground area. This is on the Coleman-Morgan County line where that possibility of a tornado could be down. We've already had quite a bit of damage with this storm back in Winston County around the Double Springs area and the Moreland area, getting quite a bit of damage from this. Some structural damage reported where we likely had a tornado touchdown. Now, we will get confirmation of that tomorrow when the National Weather Service survey crew does send out the teams, and they look at the damage. They investigate what happened there, whether it was tornado or straight line wind damage. But based off the couplet we had back in Winston County, most likely that was a tornado. That couplet is now in Coleman County. And I tell you what, Chelsea, I'll say this thing is in the northern tip of Coleman County, but it's heading right for battleground right now.
I mean, yes, it's right there again, about to head into Morgan County, as there was a tornado warning issued again for Morgan County, not in our coverage area, but we've been really dealing with this storm since Winston County. This is, usually associated with these tropical systems that brings all of that instability and enough shear to make these brief spin-ups. They are brief and they're usually weak, but again, they still should be taken seriously, and you still should take those necessary safety precautions. Make sure you are getting in a safe place if you live anywhere near these areas.
Yeah, absolutely. And we always encourage people, if you're in a mobile home up here near 157, close to the Centerville part of Coleman County, we want you out of a mobile home, out of a car. Find that site-built structure, somewhere that can protect you from flying debris. We always advise people put a bike helmet on. Find somewhere in your home that you think is a designated safe spot, whether it's in a hallway or bathroom or closet. You want to be in that interior room of your home. Most likely, if there's a tornado down, it's going to be a weak tornado that doesn't last very long. But again, a tornado is a tornado. Even an EF1 can be a deadly tornado. So we want you in that safe place now, away from windows. We want you out of a car. And if you're traveling from West Point back towards Battleground and crossing into Morgan County on that Highway 157 corridor, pull over now. Pull over for at least 10 minutes. Allow this storm to pass on by. You don't want to be traveling along this road whenever this tornado passes on by. One thing to mention, too, is the rain is incredibly heavy. We'll go over to the Birmingham Radar, and again, you've got tremendous amount of rainfall here, so you're not going to be able to see the tornado. Don't go out and look at it. Look, I know we're all human, and we want to see it. Many people we talk to that have been in tornado pass in the past have tried to go outside and look at it, and all they see is a curtain of rain, and behind that, you've got your tornadoes. So they're not always clear to the eye where you can see them. What you may see is just a big, large curtain of gray of rain heading your way. So don't go out and look at this thing. This is going to be a rain-wrapped tornado, which those are ultra dangerous because if you can't see it coming, you may not take action. So just take our word, take our advice that, look, we think there's a tornado down, and we want you to do something about it. So if you're in a battleground, if you are in the Centerville of Coleman County, North Vinemont, and even Dripping Springs to West Point, right there, that anybody near north of that, that's where we're calling out. I think you're okay in Jones Chapel. We're getting some gusty winds, some heavy rainfall, but in terms of the potential for a tornado, it's going to be just north of you. There's Baldwin, and you follow 278 into downtown Coleman. Look, I know if you're in Coleman, some of the older school sirens are likely sounding there, but I can tell you now, you are okay from this particular tornado. It's going to be north of you. There may be more storms down the road that approach Coleman, but in terms of this particular thunderstorm, it's going to be north of town by at least 5 to 6 miles. Again, if you're in Vinemont, North Vinemont, that's where we're looking at for the possibility of a tornado. It's going to cross, it's crossing 157 now between West Point and Battleground. It's going to cross 65, then 31, and most likely at that point this moves into Morgan County unless it makes a right turn like we saw happen back in Winston County. So it's not out of the question. It does veer back to the right if the rotation increases, but most likely this is going to move into Morgan County. Let's put on the debris signature, and there's something, that may be something there, Chelsea. Looking at the correlation coefficient coming up on Battleground, is the National Weather Service in Huntsville, they mentioning any damaged debris from this?
Yeah, Richard, we also are getting some damage reports. We have some more recent damage reports back from this storm in Winston County, more trees down along County Road 39, but we also have new damage reports with this current storm and its location from the Sardis fire in Coleman County, reporting a lot of damage to some structures, one a barn on County Road 1069. So again, still getting those damage reports, still something that should not be taken lightly, as these systems can cause damage. Even though they're weak, even though they're short-lived and brief, again, these cells can spin up really quick and cycle quickly. They're regenerating themselves.
Yeah, Chelsea, that's a good point. These things can change in a heartbeat just like that, so we want you to do something. We may have a tornado here. We may be looking at debris being lofted right there coming up on battleground, and that makes sense based off of our velocity signature. It is directly underneath that, so we're looking at the possibility of debris, and that's where our couplet is there. This couplet may have weakened in the last scan, but I certainly think we just had a tornado touchdown. This is at least 2 tornado touchdowns, I think, that have happened with this storm. Again, this is just about to move right over battleground, so if you're in battleground, extreme northern Coleman County, let's go to that safe place and stay there for at least 10 minutes. After that, you're going to be all clear with this actual rotation. But again, there it is there. That's your possibility of a tornado there. And we are looking at that. So let's look at the, tell you what, let's take high top and see if we got, we're kind of in one of those weird spots where we're in between all the radars, so we don't get a good advantage of this storm in terms of being able to see the perspective closer to the ground level. We're sampling this storm several thousand feet off the ground, so it's hard to see the structure you need to see to know for a fact there's a tornado there or not. So again, we're sampling different radar sites. Your possible tornado is going to be right there coming up on 157 now, and then it's going to cross I-65 somewhere on the Coleman and Morgan County line. Leesdale's up there at the top of your screen. That's over Morgan County. Again, you got Coleman County here. This is Dripping Springs and West Point. But I think if you're really from Dripping Springs back to 157, that's where we're looking at too, for the possibility of damaging straight line winds, but your possible tornado is going to be just a tad to the north. And we got a new scan, and again, it's awfully noisy. It's hard to tell if this is tornado debris or if it's just different size, whether raindrops or hailstones or what we're looking at here. So whatever that is directly on top of battleground, and based off of the history of this storm, based off of what we've seen in the past, we want you to be certainly in a safe place now for that potential for tornado could be down. All right, so while we show you that, I know we need to show everybody out there just for a moment, because I know other people are watching in other parts of Alabama. Let me take you to a wide view. And let's just show everybody out there, because, look, you may not be in Coleman County. You may be in Tuscaloosa. You may be in Birmingham. This is what's happening in your area. We got a string of severe thunderstorm warnings now for southern Lamar County, Fayette County, western Walker County, also Winston County. Those are severe thunderstorm warnings for the potential for straight line winds. We don't see any evidence of a tornado down with those storms. Your possible tornado is going to be for that one storm in Coleman County. If you are in Tuscaloosa, if you're in Birmingham, if you're in Oxford, Anniston, Jacksonville, Clanton, Rockford, Demopolis, a place like Linden, Livingston, Brent, Centerville, Clanton, you're okay. There's no severe weather issues for you right now. I don't expect severe weather for those cities. Anything should be to the north of Interstate 20 in terms of the potential for severe weather. This line of severe storms is moving more due east. It may clip Birmingham in the next hour and a half, but again, it's mainly focused to the north, where there's that combination of wind shear and instability. And also we have what's left of the tropical system, Laura, that is well to our north. We're kind of in that sweet spot where we could see a rotating thunderstorm, and I think we have had already a couple of tornado touchdowns with that. Chelsea, anything new coming from the Weather Service up in Huntsville?
So far, not anything new from the Weather Service. Again, we had those previous damage reports, and again, still watching this rotation closely, as it again has the possibility to change very quickly as it's continued to weaken and then strengthen again and recycle itself.
Yeah, and also I do want to mention this. We haven't focused a lot on these storms down here coming through Millport and Kennedy and Lamar County, also Palmetto and northern portions of Pickens County. You've got strong to severe storms with that damaging wind potential. We just don't see a tornado issue with that at the moment. But if you're in downtown Fayette, you can expect some strong damaging wind potential with these storms. They are moving off to the east pretty quickly. So again, places like Fayette, Rossa City, you're going to deal with this activity as well. Let me zoom out just a touch, and Again, let's pan you off to the north of there. There's Hubbardsville, Fowler's Crossroads. You've got that damaging wind risk for you. And then we go up to the north. All right, let me pan you up there and show you where we're looking at too. In Walker County, places like Kansas and Nauvoo, you got a damaging wind potential there. There's Carbon Hill there. I-22 runs down beside Jasper towards Cordova. If these storms do continue, you will have the potential for damaging straight line winds in excess of 60 miles an hour there as well. So again, we got Arley heavy rain. This is coming up on Smith Lake now. In fact, the northern side of Smith Lake getting some of that. Crane Hill, you're just south of the tornado potential. Looks like this is going to be all focused on the Morgan and Coleman County line for that possibility of a tornado that could be down with that. But again, Vinemont, heavy rain coming in as we speak. And let me zoom you into this. Downtown Coleman, you're okay. This tornadic signature is going to be just north of you. But again, the Centerville of Coleman County, that's where we're watching a battleground. West Point, Vinemont, that's where that possibility of a tornado could be there. And I tell you what, let's look at the velocity of this. And again, you're looking at the raindrops. We'll put on the velocity display. Let's look at this together. And I tell you what, Chelsea, I don't see a lot there. There may be something trying to develop below West Point, but to the north, I don't see much in terms of rotation at all.
Yeah, Richard, again, it's been ongoing, but it looks like it is weakening quite a bit. As I've checked on radar as well, it's continuing to just really fizzle out right now. Again, we'll have to keep a close eye on it, but at this time, I believe the rotation is not as tight as it once was.
Yeah, and we don't want anybody to let your guard down. But again, you know, you got a good point. There's not much happening in terms of rotation there, but that could change. Could change very quickly. So again, that's what you're looking at with the velocity. Tell you what, let me check something behind the scenes for you real quick. And if you're in northern Coleman County, still need you to be in that safe place now for the possibility there could be a tornado there. And that continues to move off towards the east pretty quickly. So if you're in Vinemont, go ahead and be in that tornado safe place now as we are watching that carefully. Also want to show you this. We've got a tornado watch that continues till 8 o'clock for Lamar, Fayette, also Walker County. The possibility of a tornado is still there, but we're looking at more of a damaging straight line wind potential with those storms. You see those orange polygons representing that severe thunderstorm warning. But again, we're just not seeing a whole lot to the south. And again, yeah, we got the severe thunderstorm warning for Fayette County, Walker County, and southern Winston County. That's until 6:30. But again, that's for damaging wind potential with that. I want to take you to Bryant Denny in Tuscaloosa, and we are looking towards those severe storms to the north of town. Tell you what, we'll pan the camera around just a bit, show you what's to our west. And again, there's just not much approaching Tuscaloosa. This is all to the north of town. We got some sun here in the Tuscaloosa area, but the severe storms are just to the northwest of the city. And unless they build southward, there's not much of an issue expected for the Tuscaloosa area. Even if those storms do build south, I don't think there's going to be a tornado threat based off the lack of wind shear. Looks like all the wind shear is going to be focused to the north where that tornado warning is currently ongoing for Coleman County. So we'll go back over to radar and show you that, where the potential is for a tornado. And again, this is to our north. This is northern Coleman County. That's where we've been focused on. This thing has had a trail of damage come across Winston County, and that does continue now to Coleman County. Down to the south of there, just not much happening now. You saw that camera perspective from Tuscaloosa. The sun is out, but it is certainly darker to the north where these severe storms are ongoing, and those will continue to track generally off towards the east pretty quickly now. Chelsea Aaron over in the Weather Center. Chelsea, anything new on these storms up here?
Nothing new on current storms. Yeah. We are getting more damage reports from this previous storm that we were tracking over in Winston County. Again, more trees blown down. Again, possible tornado. We've seen many damage reports with trees to structures, which are associated with tornado damage. So we are thinking that that is what happened there, and still tracking this current one right now, but it is really, really losing its strength. And, you know, losing its sense of circulation at this point. Again, we'll continue to monitor those conditions, but at this point, it's really just not looking as significant as it once was.
Yeah, I agree, Chelsea. This thing is certainly not as impressive as it was a little bit earlier. In fact, we'll switch over to Birmingham, and again, there's more of an indication of strong straight line winds rather than a tornado. I think our tornado has diminished there in Coleman County, and the National Weather Service, I believe they're going to continue that tornado warning till 6. And based off what we're looking at, I wouldn't be surprised if that would be allowed to drop earlier. Now, Coleman County is kind of a strange spot in terms of the coverage area. We cover Coleman County, but the National Weather Service office in Huntsville issues the warnings for Coleman County. So there's an overlap there between coverage area and National Weather Service offices, and they tend to keep tornado warnings a little longer than the guys in Birmingham would, the National Weather Service office in Birmingham. So it just depends on how whoever's controlling the warning trigger there in Coleman County, whether they will continue this until 6 or let it go early. But again, just in my opinion here, I don't see much in terms of straight line, in terms of tornado damage or tornado potential. It looks like more of a straight line winds. But still, if you're in Coleman County, generally to the north of downtown Coleman, right over Vinemont, I would stay in that safe place as a least course regret in case there's a brief spin up there along that line of storms. But again, I just don't see much in terms of tornado potential right now. Let's stay there in our safe place just for a few more minutes, again in Vinemont on I-65 and 31. Looking at the velocity, this is down to the south. Really severe storms are coming through Walker County and Fayette County. The good news is I don't see anything in terms of rotation. You know, Chelsea, this is more of a straight line winds, which is dangerous, but I don't see any tornado potential down here, Chelsea.
Yeah, Richard, I'm not seeing anything as well. Again, like you said, I'm seeing also some straight line wind indications, which straight line winds can just be as damaging as tornadoes in some instances, so it's important to still take those necessary precautions. Make sure you are staying indoors, as straight line winds can damage several trees, can damage some even structures at some points. But again, not seeing much as far as tornado warnings and watches goes for new ones to pop up. And we have some cancellations with severe thunderstorm warnings in western Alabama with Lamar County. However, the National Weather Service in Birmingham will still continue the ones for Fayette and Walker County right at this time.
Yeah, and that's that severe thunderstorm warning for potential straight line winds there. So if you're in Hubbardsville, Stutters Crossroads, Berry, downtown Fayette, let's stay in, let's treat this thing like we're going to get some strong winds come through, because that's what's going to happen. So let's go indoors, stay away from windows. And really, if you're in a mobile home, I would certainly think about going to a safer place, because the strong damaging wind potential can bring trees down onto structures. And if you're in a car or mobile home, we just want you to get out of that, as we do have the potential for damaging straight line winds. That's not a tornado look, but again, you could see some pretty powerful winds in excess of 60 miles an hour, and that can be just as dangerous as a weak tornado. So keep that in mind. All right, so Winston County, we got severe thunderstorm warning for the southern half of the county, also northern portions of Walker County. Carbon Hill, Saragossa, we're under that. Also the Sunlight community. There's Wilson's Bend on Smith Lake. Got that severe thunderstorm warning for you too. Falls City on Smith Lake. If you're on the lake, you can expect that strong wind to come through now. If you're in Arley and Falls City, especially Wilson Bend, it'll be there in 5 minutes or so. Also, Crane Hill is approaching fast, the damaging wind there. And as you know, if you've spent some time on the lake, especially Smith Lake, that wind can travel and channel through those valleys very quickly and produce some areas of enhanced damage. So again, if you're in Smith Lake, I would treat this thing serious. We continue the tornado warning for northern Coleman County for another 15 minutes, depending on if the National Weather Service decides to allow this to go early. But it looks like we've got more of a bowing segment, which is indicating more of a straight line wind potential with that. This is coming through Vinemont, crossing Interstate 65 as we speak. And again, this is going to be moving out of this tornado warning polygon within a matter of a few moments. So let's put on the velocity, look at this together. And again, we're seeing some indication of straight line winds. Let me swap sites here. I'm going to go to Birmingham. There we go. Still seeing some strong winds right on top of the Vinemont area. It doesn't look much like a tornado threat based off of what we're looking at. I think this is more of a damaging straight line winds, but understand straight line winds can do a lot of damage. They can drop trees and power lines, and trees can fall on homes and cars and cause problems. If you're driving on the interstate, especially these semi-trucks, you could have some real problems there north of downtown Coleman. So we certainly advise everybody to pull over just for a moment, let these storms pass. They will not last long at all. Before moving on out, we'll zoom back into this, just show you what we're looking at for Coleman County for the potential for a tornado that could be still there. And again, Chelsea, anything on this? I have not heard much lately.
No, not really, Richard. I mean, I know I sound like a broken record, but really we're still looking at the cell. It's maintaining a decent wind structure, but has some broad rotation aloft. So I really think it would be safe to say in this instance that this is going to be more of a straight line wind event. Again, still take it seriously, as straight line wind events can definitely be just as dangerous and damaging. However, it's not looking like it's having any tight circulation, which would be associated with more of a possible tornado event.
Yeah, Chelsea, I agree. I think this does look more like a damaging wind risk. Now, this was a tornado situation about 15 minutes ago. This thing spun down what we think was a tornado, had an excellent looking couplet on radar, the inbound outbound winds, and now it's looking more like straight winds blowing outwards from this storm here. And again, what you're looking at, this is the velocity, and there's a lot of green on here. You don't see any red indicating the possibility of rotating winds with that. This is more of a strong straight line wind potential with this particular thunderstorm. And I tell you what, we'll put on the Birmingham reflectivity, and let's look at this together. Again, this looks more like a bowing segment. This is part of a thunderstorm cluster here. This is bowing outwards, which is indicating, again, strong, powerful straight line winds that blow out from this thunderstorm. So if you're in Mount View, you could be having some strong winds as we speak now. And did they extend that tornado warning east, or is that Polygon skip east on us here?
No, they have not extended the warning again. It's
okay,
still,
they put a severe thunderstorm.
Right, it's a severe thunderstorm right now at this point.
Yeah, so they just posted a severe thunderstorm warning, but they do, I believe, looks like continue that tornado warning. So I think what they are going to do is replace the tornado warning with a severe thunderstorm warning for Coleman County. Again, what we're looking at, there's no doubt there's some strong winds there. I think we are looking at strong straight line winds. There's your severe thunderstorm warning polygon, includes Holly Pond and points north and west. We still got technically the tornado warning polygon for northern Coleman County. But again, I think it's safe to say this is more of a damaging straight line wind approaching the Fairview area of northern Coleman County. This does not include downtown Coleman. In fact, if you're down to the south towards Bremen or Huntsville, from that storm, there's no problem. The thing is, there's more storms to the west that have the potential to produce damaging winds rather than a tornado. Let's go down to those storms and show you that, because I know, look, there's other people watching in other parts of the state, and I do also, I believe we're still on Facebook Live. If you guys could check on that. I think we are still on Facebook Live on the WVUA. Okay, we are. Good. So we are also on Facebook Live. So if you lose power up here in these storms, you can search that WVUA 23 Facebook page on your smartphone. You can check us out live there as well as on television. So again, we got severe thunderstorms coming across Winston County. This is coming up on Smith Lake. I would certainly treat this serious, as we have strong winds basically channeling down the lake there of Smith Lake through those valleys. Also, we got Kansas and Carbon Hill and Nauvoo. You're going to be under the gun right now for severe thunderstorm warning, straight line wind damage. Down to the south in Fayette County, looks like the storm's really weakening down here, so that's an encouraging sight. So if you are in Fayette or Berry or Bankston, and even in Townley and Walker County, this storm is certainly weakening quite a bit, so we may see the damaging wind potential lessen just a bit with those storms. Go ahead.
We just got that confirmation that the tornado warning for Coleman County has been expired.
Okay, so the tornado warning has expired for Coleman County, so we no longer have any tornado warnings in our coverage area. Let me show you a wide view just for a moment. And there you go. So we got active severe weather to the north, well north of Tuscaloosa. I don't think there will be any impact to the cities of Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, or points south, but north of there is where the potential continues for damaging winds. Also, maybe a brief additional tornado, but based off the trend, I would think the chance for an additional tornado is quite low for the rest of this evening. Again, not impossible, but I think the chance is quite low. Again, but if you're watching, it's from Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, points south. I don't expect a tornado potential there. In fact, you may not see much rain at all. These storms are weakening and they're mainly north of town, moving generally off towards the east.